Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to week 15 of the Don't Wake the Dragon series. Now I kind of started this vlog on Thursday night because I ran out here and packed up all of the glass, well not all of the glass, half the glass to bring to campus. And then I spent yesterday, went in early, I was there several hours early before my class started so that I could prep the pieces and get the kiln running. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that footage. Here's to you, Diana, in the other studio on Friday. Alright y'all, it is Friday morning. It is November 18th and I am here on campus, as you can tell, because it is time to kick off the glass panels. I gotta tell you, I'm insanely nervous. I've decided that I'm going to try and do this in 3 fires. I do not want all of the pieces in the kiln all at once, and also I just don't have enough materials to stack all of the layers. I'll be using the sheets of KO wool, which is essentially insulation, but I only have 3 sheets of that and a couple of spare like strips of things. So I'm going to do the best I can to get what I can into the kiln. I'm also feeling okay with it not being all one load. I have cut up all of the KO wool, masked on because KO wool is still fibers. You don't want to breathe any of that in. I've got the panels here that I packed up last night. I just used the cardboard that the glass came in and sandwich them with some tape. So I'm going to be unpackaging them, cleaning them up a bit because I don't want stray bits of things getting stuck to them. And then we're going to start loading them into the kiln. All right, I am losing my voice. It's very dry. I need more coffee because it's not even 8 o'clock yet. Okay, so I'm going to unpack these and we're going to load a kiln. Aha! They look good. I left them on the template just in case something shifted in transportation and I needed to readjust the circles because that glue is super flimsy. I think we're all right though. Driving here, about 45-minute commute this morning with me very cautiously trying to not go over bumps because I didn't want to jack up anything. So I spent some time leveling as best I could and got 9 pieces in, which is good, which means I should be able to do everything in two goes. Button up my tripod there. All right, we're getting this closed up and we're gonna get this programmed. Now this is just a fuse, so I don't need to go ahead and do that super extended hold. I am just going to be doing a small hold at the top just to get the stuff tacked together. But I think my biggest issue is going to make sure that in the beginning I get that good 40-minute hold. Actually, I'm going to keep this 1-hour hold. Fan on. Those are the first 1 hour is the air bubbles. And because I'm fusing 2 sheets of glass, I want to make sure that I really get that hold in good. And then the second one is to do the pre-melting before we hit the higher temp, and so that's going to be important too. We're going to leave that as an hour. Fan on. Then we're going to hit our 1465, and from there, this is where I'm going to go ahead and change that to only a 20-minute hold. Fan on. And then I need to ramp down. Definitely want to be cautious there. 700 minutes, turn on, and we're good. Alrighty, so I should be here throughout the day if we keep an eye on this, at least until it makes it to the peak and begins its cool down. So yeah, I'm going to call it here for this part of the day, and I will catch you probably tomorrow morning in the studio. Alright, so it is Saturday, November 19th. I think I've decided what I'm going to do is, since this is Thanksgiving week and this is the start of my winter break, which means I'm going to have a week. Of course, it's Thanksgiving and I will be doing some festive things. There's Disneyland on the horizon, as always. I'm going to have a little bit more days out here to try and get things done, so I'm probably going to break this up into 2 parts, and this will be part 1. Somewhere in there, I'll split the days, maybe like on Tuesday or something. Depends on how much happens over this weekend. So right now what I need to do though is to finish packing up this glass because I can't really work out here. In my head somehow I was thinking I needed to get a bunch of foam and get these pieces put into the foam, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I should just use the method that they sell the glass in, because if they're doing a lot of transporting these glass sheets, that method seems to work just fine for the glass, getting it to me. Basically, that's what I did. I've been cutting the cardboard that it came in half. I'm affixing as many as I can to the cardboard with masking tape, going back over it with the clear plastic. I saved the clear plastic wrap that this came in for this reason, so I could wrap it all back up. And I ended up with a nice little sandwich and seated that sandwich on my cushions in the truck. They seem to get there just fine. Eventually I'm gonna need to deal with like kind of gallery packing, some kind of foam, and create boxes that are just for the shapes of these that sandwich them. It's probably gonna be a pretty hefty expense because foam like that is pretty pricey, and I have not even thought about pricing it now that things have gone up since the pandemic. Yeah, I'm kind of want to prolong that as much as possible. So, whoa, all right, it is super freezing out here, and I know you're all over there on the East Coast who are like sitting in 6 feet of snow. I've heard like Buffalo has had 6 feet of snow, but I am looking at the tarp, and there's literally steam coming off of the top of it because it's so dang cold out here. Apparently she's emitting some heat. Anyway, enough waffle. I am gonna go ahead and get this glass packed up. Can I just say I'm so excited to be on vacation that I'm out here at 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm like so happy to like just be able to just not have to think about anything other than this dragon and making some Thanksgiving food for the next week. The glass is packed up, and I'm gonna head over to campus tomorrow to see what the results are of the first round of glass, and then this will be the second round of glass, so knock on wood, everything is all good. The next thing I'm going to tackle is, I feel like all I do is make freaking templates. Templates. But it has occurred to me that I need to go back to that thing and make another round of templates, but this time the template will be for the secondary frame that's going to hold the glass in. Alright, I'm going to figure out where I'm storing these panels temporarily. I suppose I could just bring them in the house. I don't know. I need to go somewhere today. I'm going to Disneyland. But I don't want to put these in my truck too early. And I don't want to leave them out and about where the cats could kind of walk all over them and possibly crack the glass. Ah! Alright, I had to figure this out. Remember this one time someone had come to me and asked me, did I have a way to make some kind of template for some weird shaped thing? And I remember I literally just like stuck the thing on something and traced it. And it was like this kind of method of making templates. And they were like, we thought you had some kind of like scientific way. I'm like, this is just how it rolls. I mean, I am methodical when it comes to making, but sometimes you really don't need to overcomplicate crap. Woodworking is such a precision thing, but the way I see it is you have to know the rules before you can break them, and there are some things that you absolutely have to be 100% precise about, but failing so many times and getting things wrong and having like gaps in my joinery or whatever when I was in woodworking school, it taught me how to fix mistakes, and then I became less in fear. I can just go, yeah, who cares? Just do it loosely. And I'm making artwork. I'm not building rockets. I'm like literally making sculptures that are meant to be aesthetically pleasing, and yes, I want them to not fall apart, but I also don't need an absolute precise like measurements on all things because it's sculptural. Anyway, making my crude templates this way in my wondrous scientific way, right? Alright, I'm gonna tip this up a minute. So here's what I got. Over in the bottom, I have left a bit of a void there that is solid wood. I have something special to deal with that. I'm leaving in a lot of this void because I'm gonna be layering on that extra layer, and it's gonna help create this depth. And then over here in the bottom where there is that flat void, my dad here in the United States, his job was designing lights for schools and institutions, sort of in charge of making prototypes. And one of the materials they used to use was a wood veneer that had an adhesive on it. And he would take the scraps and make these little Valentine picture frames. So I decided that since I have the opportunity in this panel, I'm gonna leave that void spot there, and I'm gonna make my own Valentine picture frame, so to speak, in that void area. Next thing I need to do is go back in and I guess, how do I want to do this? This is the back panel, but I need to cut out where the glass is gonna go, which is gonna be up against what that frame is. I know what to do. I'm gonna flip this whole thing over with it taped to it and draw the pattern on the opposite side. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the green. So I got a couple areas that it didn't quite thin nearly as much as I wanted, so I'm just going back in with a bit of the acetone to thin it out a little bit before I walk away. It's just any of the areas that pulled a little too much, I didn't wipe fast enough. Alright, I'm going to call it here for today. I probably will not see you until tomorrow morning on campus.